everybody, welcome back to another episode of Overwatch Weekly. So today, I wanted to address the fact this video is going up later than usual. Wednesday mornings are a little bit quieter, not as many people around, a little bit easier. You may hear some stuff going on outside, like a shuttle or the dryer, but those aren't important right now. The main thing is just that it's going to be up a little bit later. We'll see if I continue to do this. People seem to be in and out at different times on Wednesdays. It's just weird. I can never really get a full understanding of what times people actually have to be here and when they actually have class, so it's a whole thing. But let's just start talking about the game of Overwatch and the stuff going on. So I'm going to start with three kind of things that are just happening with the game. So yesterday, the 28th, competitive season 11 concluded. So we're done with competitive season 11. If you didn't play in competitive season 11, sorry, but it's over. You can't play anymore. Season 12 will start Friday, the 31st. So it's the off season right now. You can play some off season, or you can just wait until Friday for season 12. The Summer Games event concludes tomorrow as well. So right before season 12 kicks off, there will be no more Summer Games event going on. But that's the big things that are just going on right now, I guess. Things that you should know about. I should have mentioned the fact that season 11 was ending last week, but I didn't. So I apologize for that. But let's talk about something fun. Patch notes. So these patch notes are pretty small. The majority of the things involved are bug fixes as well as D.Va's Nano Cola Challenge, which I will talk about in a second once we get through these patch notes. But most of them are bug fixes, so I'm not going to go in depth on these, but I do want to talk about one, which is that they fixed a bug that allowed Symmetra's teleporters to teleport players into certain vehicles on Kings Row and Numbani. You may know about this. It was the buses, the bus at the beginning of Kings Row and the bus at the beginning of Numbani. You could teleport into them, place turrets, and just hide in there, and you couldn't die. So that is done. You cannot do that anymore, which is fantastic. But that's really it for the patch notes. There's other bug fixes if you want to look into them. I have a link in the description down to the patch notes. But let's talk about D.Va's Nano Cola Challenge. What is it? So, it's kind of 5 things. Because obviously her animated short just came out. So, there's 5 parts to it. So, 3 of them are pretty simple. One of them is just watch the Shooting Star animated short. One of them is basically explore Busan on the PTR or watch the Busan video, just however you want to look into the Busan map. And the other one is there's a free official D.Va poster and there's some digital wallpapers that you can download. They're free. That's whatever. The other 2 parts are the exciting parts, the fun parts, the main parts. So they are basically both an in-game and out-of-game way, sorry for bumping the mic, to unlock in-game rewards. So the in-game one is pretty simple. You have to win, I don't know why I said it that way, you have to win games in either quick play, competitive, or arcade. And if you win 3, 6, and 9 games, you get different rewards. Much like how if you play arcade, once a week you can do the same thing. 3 wins, you get a loot box, 6 wins, you get another loot box, 9 wins, you get another loot box, and then that's where it stops. So this can actually be done in connection to that. So you could do your 9 arcade wins and your 9 Nano Cola Challenge wins all at the same time. But if you win 3 games, you get 2 sprays. If you win 6 games, you get a player icon, and if you win 9, you get D.Va's Nano Cola skin, as seen at the end of the animated short. I talked about it a little bit, but you can get it. Hopefully you'll be able to see an image on screen. I can't guarantee that, but hopefully there is one. So that is the in-game part. So, win 9 games, you get different rewards. Simple as that. And this is running till September 10th, so you have plenty of time to get these things unlocked. Sorry, I'm adjusting some stuff if you heard things that sounded weird. Now for the out-of-game part of this, there are some streams on Twitch that you can watch, and they have rewards if you watch for certain lengths of time. So I'm really struggling to speak today. If you watch 2 hours, you get 1 D.Va spray. If you watch 4 hours, you get 2 more. You watch 6 hours, you get another 2 sprays, and if you watch 8 hours, you get 3 additional sprays. So there is a total of 8 sprays. So there's 4 different marks, and you get 8 sprays total. Basically, a spray an hour. And if you remember during the Pink Mercy event, you could watch all those streams. If you watched long enough, you got sprays for that. It's the same thing here. You can watch any of the streamers during their spotlight, or just during the time that it's running, now until September 10th. You have Seagull, Mirage, Fran, Anak, Aphiz, Tyrodin, Zondalol, Karuja, Kim Jae-won, ESL Dagoon, Nadia Kala, Kefri, Valkia, and Aimbot Calvin. If you watch any of those streamers between now and September 10th while they're streaming, they will have drops enabled. You watch for 8 hours, you get all the stuff that you can get, and they're all just sprays. So that is the Nano Cola challenge. It's pretty cool. If you want to make sure you get the stuff through Twitch, make sure your account on Twitch is linked to your Battle.net account. You can do that by going to the Twitch Connections page on Twitch. Make sure you do that before anything else, because if you do not have it connected, you cannot unlock these sprays. It's as simple as that. Sorry for bumping the mic again. But that's the big thing going on in the game right now. If you want to check it all out, there's a link in the description to check some stuff out about the challenge. But let's move on to the next story, which is that paid loot boxes and loot chests disabled for players in Belgium. To kind of explain this, I'm just going to read the first paragraph of this because I don't need to read the whole thing. And I'll kind of paraphrase some of the later stuff in here. But this comes from Veneris, one of the community managers on the Blizzard forums. So it is linked in the description for you to check out if you would like to. But first paragraph reads, in April 2018, the Belgian Gaming Commission published a report that was endorsed by the Belgian Ministry of Justice, in which they concluded that paid loot boxes in Overwatch are considered gambling under local law. While we at Blizzard were surprised by this conclusion and do not share the same opinion, we have decided to comply with their interpretation of Belgian law. As a result, we have no choice but to implement measures that will prevent Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm players located in Belgium from purchasing in-game loot boxes and loot chests with real money and gems. They go on to say, while players in Belgium will no longer be able to purchase paid loot boxes in Overwatch and loot chests in Heroes of the Storm, they'll still be able to earn them by playing the games, and they'll still have access to all in-game content. And they are open to further discussions with the Belgian Gaming Commission and Ministry of Justice on this topic, because of course they disagree. And I also disagree. I don't think it's gambling. I don't think it should be considered gambling. You're not... You can unlock everything without it, and you're not... I wouldn't really call it gambling. You're not... You can't sell the stuff that you get. You're putting money in to get stuff. You're not really putting anything up, and then it's like, maybe I'll get this thing. I'm not putting up $200 to buy this skin in CSGO and then reselling it for $220 and making $20 off of it. It's not how it works. But I do kind of see where they can say it, because look, you're teaching kids to just spend money on stuff, but it's really just spending money on things. And the problem is that you're not guaranteed stuff, right? You buy a loot box, you're not guaranteed to get something good in there, right? Difference between something like Pink Mercy is you put the $15 towards the Pink Mercy skin, you're getting the Pink Mercy skin guaranteed. It's not like you're buying a Pink Mercy loot box and in it you might get the Pink Mercy skin, or you'll get some other Pink Mercy related things. So I'm split on it, because I think the way to do loot boxes is that they're just a way to get things you can already get, but you just spend money and you can try to get them quicker, rather than just, playing the game and unlocking them. That's why I think the way they do it is correct. You're not doing something that you can only get doing it that way. There's other ways to get the things that you're buying. But on the plus side, if you're a Belgian player, you're not losing anything. You just can't purchase these things, but you can still do everything in your power to unlock all these skins just by playing. So, playing, unlocking the coins and whatnot. So that's really your only option, though. So I'm interested in seeing how this kind of develops. If more countries start to do this, if it just becomes something that they disable worldwide, I'm interested in seeing where this goes. But let's talk now about the Overwatch League AllStar Weekend because it was pretty entertaining. I watched as much of it as I could, not the whole thing, but a decent amount of it. So it started off with the skills challenges on Saturday. It was a whole bunch of different things. The first thing you had was the Lucio Ball Showdown. Sorry if you can hear that. That's my fan. It's really hot in here. Was the Lucio Ball Showdown, and it was, of course, between Atlantic and Pacific. The Atlantic ended up winning the Lucio Ball Showdown 2-1. It was best of 3 series, so they won 2 games. They won Game 3 in overtime on a Poco goal. It was pretty nice. But after that, we had the Mystery Heroes game, which was a best of 3, and I don't actually remember. I believe it was all 3 maps that were played, but it may have only been 2. But it was won by the Atlantic once again. I think the best thing coming out is that Muma of the Houston Outlaws was playing. He was the only person on the team that did not speak Korean. And he definitely was like, this is really, really impressive. Like, some of these rosters that speak multiple languages, the fact that they can do it is incredible. So, that was that. The next thing was the quarterfinals and semifinals for the 1v1 Widowmaker duel. But we'll talk about that when we get to the end of the Widowmaker thing, because that's where they ended it. They ended it with the finals. But we then had the talent takedown, which was the casters and the analysts and the hosts, whatever. All of the people on the talent team were put on a team. Atlantic or Pacific, it was 7 people on both sides, so obviously only 6 can play at a time, so they had subs, but it was all of the talent going against each other, and the Pacific won in 2 maps. It was best of 3. Game 3, if it was a tiebreaker, would have been Lucio Ball, so I really wanted to see that, but we didn't see it. Pacific won that one. Then it was the lockout elimination, 6v6 lockout elimination. Pacific came out on top there as well, making it now tied in the skills showdown day, 2-2, as we go into the Widowmaker finals. Now, the Widowmaker duels is actually a tournament. It was a really cool thing. I thought it was really, really cool. So, on both sides, you had 4 people. You had 4 Atlantic, 4 Pacific, and they kind of competed with people in their own division to be the best in that division, then face off against the winner of the other division. So, in Atlantic, you had Carpe, you had Striker, Pine, and you had Saya Player. And on the Pacific side, you had Soon, Surefor, Fleta, and Architect. And the finals was Carpe against Surefor. I think everybody thought Carpe would win, and Surefor came out on top, which led the Pacific to basically win the skill showdown. They won 3. It was really, really entertaining. It was possibly the best part of the entire weekend. It was really, really fun to watch. But that's how the skills challenge weekend went. So let's move on to the actual All-Star game, which ended up going the direction of the Atlantic. They actually won 4-1, and we got to see a Nano boosted Molten Core Torbjorn kill with a hammer. Okay, I want to make it known. One of the things I think is funny is that the only map that was lost was Kings Row, which is really good for the New York Excelsior. I don't know how many of them played on Kings Row, but that's the only map they lost. But they won 4 straight maps. It was wild. But that was the overall All-Star Weekend. There was one thing that they did, of course. They gave out an award, and it was the Dennis Havelka Award. Dennis Havelka, better known as Internet Hulk, was a professional Overwatch player. He played for Team NVS, and he passed away in November of a heart disease. But they gave out this award basically as to going to the person who had the most positive impact on the community, and the award went to Mickey of the Dallas Fuel, a former teammate of Internet Hulk. There's an entire article, entire story down in the description if you want to read about it. If you want to read about Dennis Havelka, if you want to read about anything, it's a really good story. And Mickey has a really big connection to the guy, so it's a good story to read. I have a bunch of things linked in the description, just kind of additional things that are just kind of supplementary content that I didn't really feel need to talk about in the video, but they are there if you want to enjoy them. Stylosa, a prominent Overwatch YouTuber, uploaded a video a few days ago where he just had been at the FanFest in Korea, and there was a bunch of interviews and answers from devs and people, producers, whatnot, with the game. So a bunch of things that they kind of compiled and they made a video of just these interview answers. The video's like 20 minutes long. I think it's a really good video. You can learn a lot about the game just by watching it, so I recommend you do that. It's in the description, as well as a little bonus story. It's funny. It's not serious, but I think it's a funny story. So that is in the description as well. That is everything for this week. Hopefully next week will be a good week. Overwatch World Cup stuff next weekend, so maybe there will be stuff to talk about there, but that's everything. If you guys enjoyed, consider liking, consider subscribing. Comment down below what you thought about the AllStar Weekend, or what you think about the D.Va skin, the epic skin. But that is everything from me. I will see you all in the next one, and have a fantastic day.